A video about finding out different things with geomancy. And this first one here is finding out season, months, week or a specific date. And you go through the house. Here we change the chart a little bit, and you choose the house for the event and the astrological sign connected to the figure that will appear in the house when the sun will be in the sign. That's the season or month of the event. And Caput Draconis and Cauda Draconis don't have signs. And Caput Draconis means it's too early to tell, and Cauda Draconis means event will not happen at all. And when you know the sun sign of the house, you get the month. And if you know, in this example, wedding in 7th house, month and a sign known. And if the figure do not pass any other house, it's the first week. If it passes to new second week, and etc. around to 4 weeks. Beginning with the chosen 7th house. So you begin here when you cast the charts for dates or the chosen house. And patterns, the planetary correspondences is also here. Here we start for somebody looking for promotion and when will it happen and so on. And here we have one other example. And Sunday, Sun, Monday, Moon, and Tuesday, Mars, and so on. And then we go into finding lost objects or other locations if something is lost. And let's say we take hidden in 4th house. The querent and the quaescity is in the 4th house. Is the stable or mobile figures. And stable 4th house found means that is will be found. And mobile means it doesn't mean to be found. And Puella here is a stable figure suggesting, and since it moves here, it suggests that it will be found, whatever is lost will be found in a love or spouse's house or home or where they are. And fact-checking news and gossip, it was as bad then as it is now. And let's say here's a rumor. And this is the querent and the quaesities is here. Somebody is worried about, heard a rumor about alcohol and self-harm with alcohol, getting too intoxicated and so on, and it can be dangerous. So here we have in 3rd house bat. Then this sign from the 3rd house appears in the 7th, and it makes that probable cause is that the person in question is hiding with a new love. This was just a very simplified version, and since this has no significance, I put 8th house there for just to show that there is no significant dangers involved. And for unidentified person, I used myself as a example. Physical description of the figure is a key for the appearance when accompanied with the 8th house, like simple and demi, etc. It can supplement although 7th house is dominant. And here we have me. Muscular, broad shoulders and so forth, and tall, red or red-brownish hair, very scorpionic, might have red blotches on skin, etc., deep voice sometimes, wild and threatening look in the old books. I guess I have a wild and threatening look. And it's Mars, Scorpio, and water is the inner element and air. Water is the outer element and inner element is air. I'm passionate and living life and exploring things. And then I appear again in the 11th house, sex styles against a friend or within a friend's circle. So if somebody would have made a question about, they didn't know who I was, they got this description and they found me out that I knew some of their friends. So that would be the unidentified person. And here's something I used quite a lot, missing or a location of a person. Finding and locating a person in 7th house. 3rd house is brothers and sisters, 4th house is parents, 6th house is employees, 7th house is lover, spouse, 10th house persons in authority or position of authority, 11th house friends and 12th house enemies. Example, seeking an old friend. And we start here. Ask parents, since it occurs here in 4th house. And it was to finding somebody. And then we go to 12th house, shows that friend might be in some distress and wanting to connect to you. So here is when the friend appears here in 12th house, that there might be some trouble and they want to reach out to you. So this was one more. And then we go into military strategy, which tells the story why a military priest taught me geomancy. And it was used by the military all the time in the medieval and Renaissance era as well. And the churches. So there are different ways to doing this. First side house is always your side, and your opposite side or your enemy is the 7th house in this particular case. And when it comes to war, it's often in the 4th house of real estate, land and so on. Money could be in 2nd house, and 10th house is the goal. For this example I made. And if one side has connection to the house of the goal, usually wins. And neither of those two has that sign. And then we look at occupation. That might always show an alliance. For example, mutation, both sides might want to settle. And translation, a third party will enter and win. And this is an example from a higher position. Querent in 1st house, and all the others she's competing for the higher position is in the 7th house, and the goal is to get a higher position. And neither side's figures pass anywhere. The goal significator passes to 12th house, which comes into conjunction with the querent here, and also to the 4th, forming a square with both sides. So the question here would be that the querent will get the position but some trouble, and also compare to the planetary connection of the figures, and then you can go further with the inner and outer elements and so forth. And here's what I usually used it for, especially as a kid. It was to finding animals who escaped. That happens a lot in the countryside. There wasn't any electric fencing back then. And moose always breaks fences. So when you have moose, they break the horses' fences when they want to go in and so on. And you have to chase animals a little bit of everywhere before the electric fences came in. And then we have illnesses. We have large animals in 11th house. We have land in 4th house. 5 is bodies of water and rain. 6 is small animals. 8 is dangers. 10 is weather. And this gives you, for anything with agriculture, when you sow, when you reap, seasons and so on. So I hope these simple little examples gave you some inspiration, and just start to try out. And I like to predict dates and weather. Those are very good practices where you don't have to get too involved, to practice and learn, and to really, I'm scientific. If I'm wrong, then that method didn't work. So I always keep on working as a scientist, not in a spiritual way, but it must work. Otherwise I don't use it. But I at least practice 100 times at least with one thing before I rule it out, and then I take the percentage and practice on from that. So it takes some determination, but predicting when if weather will change during the day, that's a simple thing where you can check the watch if you got the times right in the morning, midday or sunset and so on. And just to get the accuracy going, and then you go into finding missing persons and whatever you use it for, or in strategy, winning a competition, war, finding anything, important things. But you need to practice to get it going. So have a magical, magical day. And any questions I answer after my best abilities and my internet connection. And everything is posted on Instagram, so you can check this out closer. Have a magical day. Bye for now.